This is a disgraceful situation. This is an Attorney General, Letitia, that went out and campaigned on, I will get Trump. I will get Trump no matter what. I'll get Trump. I promise I'll get him.
Let's be clear. This is the mark of a loser who must attack his foes, including the Attorney General of New York.
He's called me venomous. He's called me disgraceful. He's called me radical. He's called me a racist.
Because Letitia James is simply trying to hold his criminality accountable.
This room is undeniably impressive. It really is. The prestige, the wealth, the allegations. I mean, wow. And don't feel bad if you don't have any allegations yet, okay? Which reminds me, Letitia James is here. She had a great year. She's just back there watching all of you.
Comedian Jim Gaffigan tries to bring some humor to the situation. Shockingly or not, Trump and James were both in attendance at this event.
Prosecutors allege Adams tried to hide the donations by funneling them through straw donors. The money multiplied by thousands of dollars in taxpayer-funded matching funds. Once he took office, prosecutors say Adams used his power to pressure agencies to take favorable action to benefit Turkish officials. In one instance, the mayor directed the fire department to facilitate the opening of the new Turkish consulate, which had failed to pass safety inspection. Turkish officials, under pressure from an impending visit by the Turkish president, allegedly asked Adams to intervene. The building opened without incident. Prosecutors allege Adams took multiple trips to India, France, China, Hungary, and Ghana, making critical stops in Turkey. At one point, texting his partner, first stop is always Istanbul. During the trips, Adams stayed in luxury accommodations for free or at a steep discount, according to prosecutors. The indictment also lays out how Adams would keep cash with an email that, quote, suggested that he left, at a minimum, well over $10,000 in cash in the Adams scheduler's desk drawer to, quote, send to Turkish Airlines. When he learned federal prosecutors were investigating, Adams allegedly tried to conceal the evidence, directing staffers to delete messages.
Remember this fiasco with New York City Mayor Eric Adams and how he still, to this day, refuses to step down?
I'd like to also welcome Mayor Adams, brought to you by Turkish Airlines. I was told to say that. It's a sponsorship deal, people.
Gaffigan certainly did.
Wi-Fi radiation does all kinds of bad things, including causing cancer.
Wi-Fi radiation causes cancer?
Yeah, from your cell phone. I mean, there's cell phone tumors. I'm representing hundreds of people who have cell phone tumors behind the ear. It's always on the ear that you favor with your cell phone. We have the science. So if anybody lets us in front of a jury, it will be over. They also, it opens up, Wi-Fi radiation opens up your blood-brain barrier. And so all these toxins that are in your body can now go into your brain.
How does Wi-Fi radiation open up your blood-brain barrier?
Yeah, now you're gone beyond my expertise.
The saddest part about RFK Jr. is not that his bid to play spoiler failed.
The key that I think that President Trump has promised me is control of the public health agencies, which are HHS and its sub-agencies, CDC, FDA, NIH, and a few others, and then also the USDA, which is key to making America healthy.
It's that the man has allegedly been promised a cabinet position where he will have serious power.
By the way, RFK Jr. is here. Welcome, sir. RFK Jr. He, of course, is going to make America, he's part of the MAGA, Make America Healthy Again, right? I don't know if he's seen what Donald Trump eats, but Donald Trump eats like, me and the Cardinal, okay?
Who could forget this moment in time we wish to erase?
But I wonder if the history of bang bang journalism, if the entertainment of the news industry, if the pursuit of clicks and likes has in some way contributed. Of course, it's gone well beyond what any news agency can even stomach, let alone be held responsible for. The violence has morphed into our inability to hold our own pain and yet see the suffering of others. It has polarized all of us so much that we cannot imagine that there is another side to the story, let alone that there might be a humanity to it. It's a world where it becomes an extremist position to call for a deeply needed humanitarian ceasefire. It's a world where we have a broken discourse. But it's a world, maybe, where conflict journalism can step up.
I 10 out of 10 recommend this TED Talk from Beltru, who went over the industry I love so much that appears to have gone into the wind or is beating to its last breath. Gaffigan shines a light on this, much to the chagrin of many in the crowd.
Now, I understand some people may have an issue with a journalist appearing on a dais, hobnobbing with the rich and powerful. It would appear like a clear conflict of interest, and that's because it absolutely is. Look, the days of Walter Cronkite are gone. Most journalists have their own TikTok. You know, the President Trump regularly appears on a show called Fox and Friends. That's not a mistake. He's their best friend.
It's true, and we have seen it over and over and over again. There are conflicts of interest because it delivers access, it delivers awards, it delivers a consistent paycheck, it delivers fame. It's BS, yet it's where we are.
I think we disproportionately stop whites too much and minorities too little.
Former Mayor Michael Bloomberg.
95% of your murderers and murder victims fit one MO. You can just take the description, Xerox it, and pass it out to all the cops. They are male minorities, 15 to 25.
Another racist billionaire who ran New York City, plus...
I'd like to talk about who we're running against. A billionaire who calls women fat broads and horse-faced lesbians. And no, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about Mayor Bloomberg. Democrats are not going to win if we have a nominee who has a history of hiding his tax returns, of harassing women, and of supporting racist policies like redlining and stop and frisk. Look, I'll support whoever the Democratic nominee is, but understand this. Democrats take a huge risk if we just substitute one arrogant billionaire for another. This country has worked for the rich for a long time and left everyone else in the dirt.
Recall when he got dragged during the Dem presidential debate?
Former Mayor Bloomberg is here. Mayor Bloomberg, you're going to close that deal on bringing us to 10 million. Can you just, not an agreement, sir. Okay. Now, by the way, there are rumors that Mayor Bloomberg is planning to run for mayor. I don't know if that's true. Quick question, Mayor Bloomberg. When you buy an election, do you put it on a credit card so you can get the points? Because that's what I would do.
Gaffigan wisely tells it like it is to Bloomberg's face. A billionaire Republican who cosplays as a lefty. Bloomberg funded his own campaign instead of, helping out Americans when he knew he wouldn't make any progress in the race. And thus he bowed out rather quickly.
I know he does things or says things that sometimes he doesn't mean everything he says.
The billionaire class is once again in it for Donald Trump, like owner of the New England Patriots, Robert Kraft.
Joining me now is Woody Johnson, former U.S. ambassador to the United Kingdom and co-owner of the New York Jets.
And MAGA loyalist, Woody Johnson.
Woody Johnson is here tonight, owner of the New York Jets, heir to the Johnson & Johnson pharmaceutical fortune. In divisive times, sir, you are a shining example, okay? If the head of Johnson & Johnson can sign an unvaxxed quarterback, maybe there is hope for this country, all right? Not only is Woody Johnson here, Robert Kraft, owner of the New England Patriots, is here. Welcome. By the way, as we know, they are bitter rivals on the football field. But here tonight, they're here for the same reason. Billionaires supporting Trump.
Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYT Sports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.